online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Just be prepared, because this song might re-enter your brainwaves for the next week straight. See, this song does this to me every time. Hello, AfterBuzz TV. Welcome to the SNL After Show. I am your host, Danny Hoyt, and I know it looks like we're missing a few people from our panel tonight, but what we're lacking for in number of humans, we will make up for in energy, and I would say just overall synergy and wavelengths by this one. Everyone say hello to Kimberly Crossman.
Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much.
No.
It's not rhetorical?
It's radio.
Oh, it's awkward.
Now is your chance to say hi. Kim, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Kimberly Crossman. I'm from New Zealand originally, and very happy to be in Los Angeles and here for my first time on AfterBuzz TV. So
yeah, welcome. And you know what?
It's my first time.
It's your first time. Roya and Keaton and Kelly send their condolences. They are all happen to have things going on this week, which is crazy because that has never happened before, but luckily.
Was I the first person that you rung, or?
So let's go right into the show here.
So weird.
So Kim, you are before we start here, you're a fan of comedy.
Huge fan of comedy. I am a student at the Groundlings as well in Los Angeles, and have worked on a lot of comedy shows as well. So,
in New Zealand, you were on doing some comedy stuff.
Yes,
and then you came to America. What is the comedy disparity? What's it like between New Zealand and here?
I think we do a lot more kind of subtle humor and sarcasm. I think America's comedy is a little bit more on the nose.
Oh.
Awkward.
Wait, so, as we go...
In terms of the shows I've worked on, so I've worked on Blackish here, which I think is, it's sort of more scripted and laughs and stuff in television.
That's a new show. That's a topical show. That show is almost topical like our host and some of the stuff they centered on tonight.
Yes.
We'll get into that. Let's, as we go through, I want you to, if you see an example of where something was funny to us in this sketch that maybe wouldn't be funny in New Zealand, or vice versa, like in New Zealand they would have said or done this.
Okay, cool.
Tell me, because I'm very curious about this.
Okay, of course.
But let's jump right into it. Kevin Hart.
Yes.
I'm a big Kevin Hart fan. I do a terrible Kevin Hart impression. I like to think it's good. My mom thinks it's funny.
Let's throw him under the bus right away. Could you please do it?
I wasn't ready. That was terrible because I kind of have a raspy voice right now.
You wanted me to ask you.
I did. Did I do it well?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, she wasn't ready.
The thing about my bank account is that the joke in it?
Good job.
It's
so
fine.
You are
I
Kevin
tried.
Hart. That's from his stand-up.
Yeah.
Very good.
I did my research.
Okay, Kim Cross. Kevin Hart is a busy man. He was in Chris Rock's top 5 with Leslie Jones, who is on SNL, which just came out recently. Mm-hmm. He was on Fallon this week and killed it. They played, if you haven't seen it, they played Slapjack, where they slapped each other with giant plastic hands. If you guys haven't seen this, go to the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon's YouTube page and watch it. My favorite part, though, so they've played this game before, this giant slapjack game, but when they put the hand on him, it's down here. So he pulls up his giant hand, but it's a white hand. And he looks at the Roots, the entire Roots band, who's predominantly African Americans.
Yes, of course.
And he's like, Roots, y'all let this happen? You let them give me a white hand? He's like, really? It's Martin Luther King weekend, and you let this happen? Selma just came out, and you let... So it was really... He killed it on Jimmy Fallon. And, of course, his movie came out this weekend, and then here he is hosting SNL. And he's got a movie with Will Ferrell.
Yes. I want to see that, too.
It's called
is so busy.
Get Hard, which comes out in March. He is... when they say that he's the hardest working man in show business, they're not lying. Kevin Hart is all over the place. And you know what I love about this guy is he always delivers. And I'll talk about why, because even through the last sketch of the night, I'll just say it now, he had the most energy he had the whole night was in the last sketch.
I think he's by far probably my favorite host that I've seen on SNL. And that's a big call. But I think in terms of like consistency, I was really disappointed with the Jim Carrey one because I felt like there was like a lot of highs and lows. But I felt like he was consistently awesome through all of it. So
He was. Well, let's get right into it. The cold open. It was a little different. Usually,
when you're fast forwarding through commercials, I wasn't expecting that. So
I was expecting like a CNN breaking news or like a White House speech. Something very political. This was opposite. It was more topical.
Did you like it?
I did like it. I thought it could have been done even better. I don't know if they were tiptoeing. I don't know if maybe their energy is focused on this big anniversary show that's coming up on February 15th.
Okay.
But and when I say they, I mean the writers. It seemed a little bit. There were a couple sketches that seemed like they just were not fully executed to me.
Sketches in general, or just speaking about the cold open?
Sketches in general, and the cold open being one of them. Did you like it?
I thought I liked the cold open because I thought it was different. I think that I wrote down the concept that I liked, but I thought they could have done better one-liners. Like I liked the Macklemore one.
Yeah, it was great. I know he's from Seattle and he's white.
Like the whitest person ever. I thought that was really funny, and it just tickles me when people say hashtag blessed. So I think that for me was the best part, but that wasn't really what the sketch was about. So I give it like a C. I think it could have been done better.
Whoa. Did you know that we do A through F rankings on our show? Or did you just throw that
watched the show
up?
before.
So you're a fan of the...
I'm such a huge fan of Danny Hoyt. I won a competition to be here. As in the 15th person he texted, the only one who responded.
And, a big thanks to Marissa, who's our producer tonight. She flew you here all the way from New Zealand.
Thank you so much, Marissa.
For winning the contest.
Of course.
No, a big
what we
thanks
do
to
for the
Marissa.
show.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to hand out to Roya. Roya came up with the letter grades, and it works really well. So we miss you, Roya Tahari.
Yeah.
But we didn't even talk about this. For those of you that are listening on iTunes, thank you so much for downloading podcasts and continue to listen and support us. Make sure you tweet us, and if you have questions or you have thoughts, we love hearing that stuff, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram posts, even YouTube comments. I always read through those. So if you post things hating on me or loving on us or loving on Kimberly, we always see them. So if you think we don't and you just want to vent out that you hate my shirt or whatever it may be, we read those.
Yeah.
So know that. Or you can just tweet us directly. That works too. But we didn't even talk about this. For those that are listening, some people, I have gotten messages that they listen to this without watching SNL. So I want to give a little blip about each thing.
Okay.
As if, to include those that haven't watched. So, the cold open, for those of you that didn't watch, it's Kenan who comes in as the ghost of Martin Luther King Jr. He approaches Pete, who is writing a paper about the weekend, and Pete brings him up to speed basically on pop culture that's going on now and different things that are happening. So, there's a couple good one-liners. I liked that they finally... Well, I shouldn't say finally, that they came right out of the gate and basically approached the idea that Selma didn't get enough credit for the Oscar nominations. It was just one line, but I liked that they at least said something about it. Because Selma got nominated for Best Picture, but no specific actors got nominated. And David, I can't say his last name, so I'm not going to try, absolutely should have been I think that was a travesty to not be nominated.
Yeah, I think... Well, yeah, sorry. You continue on. You want to continue on describing the sketch?
No, that's enough.
No, that's that's fine.
All.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked how they had the through line of like keep climbing the mountain, keep climbing the mountain. I thought that was good. It just keeps getting bigger.
It's so far away.
Yeah. So I thought it was good. I just think maybe the writing could have been a little stronger. Maybe.
It almost was like they took a shot at Barack Obama, which is the last person I would think they would take a shot at in this sketch.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
He called him, he goes, Barack Obama, huh? He's like, sounds like a Kenyan Muslim.
Yeah.
Which is like...
And about it, his parents must be in jail or something.
Yeah, he's half black, half white. Oh, so his parents must be in jail.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a shot at Barack, which from Kenan a little surprises me. A little bit. A little bit? No?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I didn't read it like that, but
How'd you read it?
I just thought it was hilarious because I think he does have quite a funny name, so I just surface level laughed. I didn't really think about it in that much detail.
Why does he have a funny name? Because you almost say Osama sometimes. Because when that was...
Yes.
Have you ever said
true.
it? Have you ever accidentally said Barack Osama?
No.
True or false? You never have?
No.
Marissa, have you ever accidentally said Barack Osama?
No, I haven't.
Am I the only?
I think that you might be the only person.
No, there's no way
Way
I'm
to
the only
single
person.
yourself out.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, shall we?
Let's go.
What would you give the opening?
I'm gonna give it a B- because I do like that it was different.
Okay.
I'm a little, and I'm just gonna say this. I'm a little upset with Pete. He's the youngest cast member, youngest they've had in a long time. I believe he's actually 19. He might have just turned 20.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's like, when he made a joke one time about being fresh out of high school 2 years ago. That's real. He is the youngest cast member. He's a true New Yorker from New York. I know he's young, but if he's on SNL, I expect his quality to be a little better. He reads the cards so much, it distracts me. Even Kenan, who had almost as many lines, if not more, looks around. He plays in. You can read a cue card and then move your eyes elsewhere and have enough of your line to know. Pete was supposed to be looking at the phone and is doing this while he's supposed to be talking about Twitter. And then you put a hashtag, but he's reading the cue. Like, I just wanted him to be a little more diligent in that process. I realize they can't memorize everything, but if you make it to that level of comedy, I want a little more.
Okay.
And this is really little, but it bugs me as an SNL fan. When
You let it out, Danny.
I'm letting it all out. When Kenan turns to the camera and he says, "And live from New York," Pete didn't come in till it's.
Yeah.
He skipped this is his first time on the cold open, his chance to say live from New York. It's Saturday night. He misses live from New York almost. I think he comes in on York. I wanted it for
Would you
him.
like me to apologize on behalf of him?
I just want
I feel like that's what you
say
need.
that you noticed it. I want you to validate that it was.
I noticed it, and it bothered me so much that I wrote it down.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Can I make a note of how different we are in the way that we took notes? My page has doodles with hearts on it, and is in pink and black. And Danny's is formally written in a Word document.
Does that mean I'm an organized human and you're a scatterbrain right brain?
I think I'm just more creative. I think that's what this lends to.
I go with scatterbrain. What's your go-to doodle over there on your
Hearts,
doodles?
definitely hearts.
I see a diamond.
Yeah, that came with the pad, though.
I see a very
But it's irrelevant. It doesn't add to the show.
I see a very poorly shaped 3D box.
Yeah.
It's like 2D and a half.
Ow. My feelings.
I was trying to cut to the core there. Did I get there?
Yeah, you did. Cool.
Cool. Let's move on.
Oh, well, do you feel better about
No, I
him
don't.
not coming in for In Live from New York?
Absolutely not. All right, opening
great.
monologue. I like that he comes in. He's always happy. When you see Kevin Hart, you see him smiling.
Mm-hmm.
He always, he's a great dresser, so he always wears something that's like fashionably forward. He's smiling.
Would you wear a wet look?
A wet look?
Wet look.
What's a wet look? Do you
Wet
mean leather?
look?
What's wet? Is that a New Zealand word?
Like his shirt. You don't call that wet look?
Do you think leather looks like it's wet?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, I would have described his shirt as like a wet look shirt. No,
No.
not in this country.
Never
Sorry.
heard that term in my life.
If that comes out in fashion soon, I'm claiming it.
Claim it.
You didn't like his shirt?
No,
It looked
I'm
like he
saying
was
I
caught in the
liked-
rain. No?
What is happening? No, I liked his shirt. I said he's well dressed, but wet is what's I'm going to say the word wet is what's throwing me off.
Okay.
I'm going to pull up the chat roll in case anybody wants to agree or disagree. Live, join us on the chat roll.
Yes.
On
Someone come to my
AfterBuzzTV.com.
defense, please.
Marissa, have you ever heard that term?
No, not in America.
Okay, cool. I'm not good.
Because you can have entire suits made out of that material.
It's just called leather or pleather if you're at Forever 21.
Okay.
Like your vest. Is that a wet look?
No, because it's not that. It looked like his shirt would shine different colors in the light. Kind of like have.
All right.
We're going to move past the shirt. I'll just keep digging myself in the hole.
You're doing great.
I am.
It's probably cooler down in that hole than it is in here, though. It's getting.
It is really hot.
Speaking
I'm going
of
to take my leather vest off.
Your
My
wet-
non-wet look.
your wet vest.
Yeah.
Okay, so
got weird
he comes out,
fast.
and I like it right away when Kevin comes out. And
Because of his wet look shirt.
Sure, he's happy. So I
Yes.
smile and this is when I've noticed that when I really like somebody, and you guys at home, tell us if you do this too. When I really like someone, I smile when they walk in a room. I don't mean just like feelings. I mean when I enjoy someone's comedy. Like I'm sitting on my couch watching this, and he walks in, I smiled right away. I just enjoy Kevin Hart. Did he have that same effect for you?
Definitely. I think, like, straight off the bat, when he started doing what is essentially a set, I was stoked because I was like, oh, great. He's actually going to use this platform to do stand-up, do what he does so well.
Yeah.
I think so many times, and my roommate Katie will agree, when people try and do, like, a song monologue or something like that, and it just doesn't hit right, I thought that... I didn't even know how long his opening monologue was, but... Yeah. It was phenomenal. Do we need to describe what it was?
We're going to talk about it, but I have to shout out someone on our chat roll who just chimed in with the name Geeson. And I know a Geeson, and I hope this is the same human. He says, my shirt is so wet with 4 T's. So,
I feel like I'm just in the gutter now. Like, that wasn't my intention.
And someone's also saying you should just go enter a wet T-shirt contest. So...
Oh, well, that's
you didn't think
really
about that
funny.
That is funny.
I wasn't even trying to be funny or look stupid. I just was, that's what we call it in New Zealand.
You touched on it.
Yes.
Kevin Hart went into a very, very long stand-up. This was a very long monologue.
Okay, cool.
Did you like I was okay. I was enjoying it.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Did you giggle?
I wrote, my first note was raccoon. I love it. That was what I wrote. Raccoon. I love it.
Okay, so while we do have different ways of taking notes, that's what I wrote as well.
You wrote raccoon. I love it.
Raccoon. I love it. So
you're lying.
Something like
He's
that.
Lying.
But I did like the raccoon story. I thought his story got progressively better. It got stronger, and I was laughing harder as it went along. And it was long, but I didn't mind it one bit. I enjoyed that he went on.
Totally. And I think, he has such good humor and such good comedy. It's so relatable, and it is so over the top. But I'm an extrovert, and my mind works in that way, too. Like, I love where he's talking about the raccoon, like, pointing his thumb and shooting at him.
Bang, bang.
And bang, bang and stuff. And I was like, oh, my gosh, that's so good. Like, yeah, I think he just has a really great way of articulating and telling a story. He is such a storyteller. So I was stoked when he came out and did that, so...
I appreciate this about Kevin Hart. A lot of comedians, a lot of comedy is either going to be based on, obviously, their storytelling or their words, their jokes, or they have great physical comedy. Kevin blends them really well. The way he does this, and as Jay Farrell was doing later, like, bang, bang,
yes.
he does these things a lot, which always make me, I never not laugh.
No, and it doesn't feel one note either. Like,
so when he was doing the raccoon, he was doing this. I've seen Kevin do this dip, dodge, duck, dive thing.
Yes.
Being a woman, being animals, being one of his kids. Doesn't matter who he does this with, I laugh. So he blends physical and...
Do you know, and I don't know this because I assume I haven't watched all of his stand-up. Was any of this material from previous things, or would it be fresh for this? Do you know?
This was all fresh. I can say with 99% certainty. I've watched a lot of Kevin Hart. I would be disappointed if Kevin Hart came on Saturday Night Live with recycled material that a lot of the masses maybe haven't heard. I think he would get called out for that. Okay. He has been in a little bit of fire lately, by the way. I don't know if you heard about this. In December, an email was released that Kevin had sent. He was getting paid $3 million for his movie, and an email had sent out where he was asking for more, and somebody ripped it and put it out on the internet, and then he got called, basically just called a diva, a different word for a diva. He got called that, saying like, you're already getting paid $3 million for this, to tweet these things out and blah blah blah, and he asked for more, and then he put on his Instagram, "It's my life, it's my brand. I want to do what's best for me." So he's been in the in between. It hasn't been like terrible, but it hasn't been great. Okay. So I think it was just him coming out and he's like, "Look, I'm going to be unapologetically Kevin and nail it," which I feel like he did on his opening monologue. He did, yeah. I honestly, even if that was the only snippet, I would have really enjoyed it. Well, and the other comedian that was on the season, Chris Rock, came on and did stand-up comedy on his as well. He was a little. He walked a lot closer to the edge. Kevin didn't do anything that could be bad. No. Chris Rock made somehow the 9/11. He made it funny. It worked, but it was close for a second. Wow. And he also wasn't as long, so this was a cool, different way of doing stand-up. So, well, I loved it. I gave it an A+. A+ as well. Yay! We agree. There we go. High fives. In case you guys didn't hear that. I came over to the top for that. She came over the top. I went straight in for it. First digital short. Kate McKinnon's Justin Bieber. We rave about it on our show. Do you love it? I thought it was, here's the thing. Like, I saw, because I didn't watch the show until before we came in today, and so I saw some of the stuff online yesterday, and I was like, don't watch it.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. Like, I just wrote, like, her physicalities were on point. You know, the squint with the low chin and the
I know
forehead
it so well.
and the brush of the nose.
She does the thumb brush of the nose really well.
This made me go, owie.
These tattoos made me go, owie. I'm not supposed to drink, but I do.
Yeah. I just thought, here's the thing. I'm a huge Justin fan, and I think he's great.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you could cross a line where it would be offensive, and I think that she managed to keep it that it's so close to what it is and still be hilarious. Besides the Kevin Hart stuff, the Mike Calvin's thing was definitely my favorite part of the show.
Did you see the episode earlier this season when Matthew McConaughey, they did digital shorts where he was the guy driving the Cadillac and he had his fingers like this and he was rolling a booger? Have you seen those Cadillacs?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel maybe I have.
So
I have seen that.
Okay, so earlier this season they did the digital short. It turned into a running short where they did 3 of them throughout the show, and then the last one, spoiler alert, it was months ago though, he ends up running over Kenan Thompson, who's playing the Allstate guy. Are you in good hands? He's out in the street.
That's
and he runs
right.
him over.
Yes, I do remember it.
I kind of like these better. These Mike Calvins. I kind of like them better.
Well, they're
They're funnier for me.
I thought they were great.
So which one is better? That's what I'm asking you.
This, I love.
Okay,
yeah,
you agree with me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right. Well, let us know what you guys
Are
think.
you used to people not agreeing with you?
Yeah, that's why.
What a great guest to have.
What?
She agrees with
She
everything
agreed
that
with
I say.
How was she, guys? How'd she do? Well, as soon as you walk out the door, she agreed with everything. She's great.
No
never,
conflict.
Never have her on
There's
again.
no conflict in this show. I agree with your thoughts.
Thank you for validating me. Your hair looks nice. Justin also loved this so much so.
He did?
Justin
I was wondering.
tweeted
Yes.
last night at NBC SNL. He said, "Well played, LOL."
Cool.
SNL, NBC retweeted. They quoted his tweet. They didn't even add a comment. They just quoted it and put it up on their Twitter stream as well. I thought that was funny.
Well, here's the thing. I think, and this is, I feel like Justin gets a hard time all the time, but he's so good at taking. Do you say taking the piss here? Taking the Mickey?
Come again?
What?
He's so good at taking a piss. Can we copy that so we can use that later as a drop? I'm just
Language
kidding.
barrier.
That's a New Zealand thing.
It is a New Zealand thing?
Okay.
No, is it? When you say
I'm
something
not from
like...
New Zealand.
Is it a saying, like when you're taking the piss out of something?
I mean, we say that we take a piss, but I think it means something different.
Yes, sir. Yes, sure. Okay, so I like that Justin is able to do that. I think that
take the punches and roll with it.
Sure, that's a much better way
I
of
knew what you meant, but this was way more fun.
You're such a dick. Yeah, no, I think that that's great. That's one of the reasons I love him. I love that he can do that. And great.
Well, moving along with the Calvin's theme, actually,
Yes.
let me validate that.
Okay.
So he put maybe 13 or 14 of these pictures on his Instagram over the last week. And then it came out that people said it was photoshopped, and then he put up a picture of himself in a bath towel, I believe it was Thursday, and he just wrote Photoshop. And it actually shows him, and he's pretty cut. You can see 6 abs. And he basically came back at them and was like, okay, if you think it's Photoshop, like, here, I just walked out of the shower. I got to give it to the kid. I like Justin. I got his back. Like, the kid handles and takes the piss well. He takes a very well. He's good at taking a piss. Did I say it? Did I use it right?
My mother will hate me.
Sorry, Mommy.
She'll be like, Kimberly, it's taking the Mickey.
Sorry, Auntie Kimmy's getting bad over here.
No.
So I'm going to give these, along with the second one, A+.
Definitely, me too.
Great digital shorts.
I thought you were going to leave me.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
On to the next one.
Good.
Why'd You Post That? This is where Kevin Hart plays Darnell Pepper, host of a show called Why'd You Post That, where he brings in people who are bad at Instagram and yells at them. This sketch was interesting.
Okay, so my thought is this is a really good idea for a sketch.
Yeah.
I think the examples were poor and not played out well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they could have picked so many better things to do. Does that make
things and
sense?
situations, yes.
Like, I think the best thing that was said in it was the last line, and it said... And I said, best line, don't post pictures of coffee. And I was like, why didn't they get someone in who just posts pictures of... Because I think that, for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I look at some people's Instagram pages and I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, like, hey, cool, your coffee looks great. And then he could berate him, like, how long did it take you to tweet that and edit that? And then by the time you get it, was your coffee even warm?
Or talk about filters or something. Like, Yeah, or just too many hashtags. I felt like there were a lot of different angles that they could have gone with something of why'd you post that? And I just thought the 3 ones that they took weren't strong options, and they didn't really allow for any relatability. Like, I don't know anyone who posts blurry pictures of the Empire State Building.
Well, I know a few people who zoom way in and they don't take time. Like, I'm Instagram. I'm overly addicted to making sure my Instagrams. I'm not
How
saying
long?
I'm.
Let's do this.
No, let's not do this.
How long does it take you to edit a picture for Instagram?
I'm not saying I'm great. I try real hard and I care about it.
Cool. That's great.
There's people out there that are. I just became friends with this guy this week who his Instagram blows my mind how phenomenal. I'm gonna give him a shout out. It's @WithHearts. My friend Corey. It's @WithHearts. His Instagram's like.
It's awkward. My Instagram's also great, but.
I mean, yours is. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It motivates me. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show. But I appreciate people who take a long time. Then there's people who just will zoom in on something, take it, and post up. There's no editing. There's no filter. It's a different theory on it. But I do have the thought, because I care about mine. I see people that put those up, and I'm like, well, like, put a little more, like, passion behind that.
Sure.
Edit up a little bit. Your face looks yellow. I don't know.
Sure.
You know?
Well, great. Well, cool.
Thank you for agreeing with me, Kim.
Once again, no conflict.
Did you notice at the beginning of this sketch, it seemed like the cue cards were maybe behind? There was some sort of technical difficulty because Kevin appeared flustered, and I think he was behind on his lines, and then he messed up a line.
Yeah, I think it got off to a bad start. I know when they pushed her chair away, it got stuck too. So I think, maybe. Yeah. But regardless, I don't think the content was as strong as it could have been for a topic that could lead to so many great avenues of better humor,
right,
which is Instagram.
Right.
My opinion. I even wrote, like, if I was on the show and writing, I said I would have liked to have seen, like, a really vain guy character who maybe just did selfies or something. Like, see that guy kind of come out, and I don't know. I feel like
that could have been Kyle. They could have, because Kyle came out as
the Paris
he goes,
one?
with your little orangutan nipples. Yeah, thinking of the people in Paris.
Yeah, I guess maybe they were trying to do that. I did like the sexy selfie with the baby in the background. I thought that idea was funny, like check your background in a selfie. But yeah. Anyway.
I thought they were going to go on further with it. Like maybe she had another one where there was like a toilet.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've actually seen any in real life that I've seen funny. Not babies on the floor, obviously.
Do you follow the Fat Jewish?
No.
I feel like the Fat Jewish has posted one.
Okay.
One of my favorite Instagram follows. I laugh every time.
Okay.
Without a fail. Without a fail. I give this sketch, I'm sorry, I give it a C-. It wasn't very funny for me. The narrative didn't change.
It reminded me, do you guys get the Graham Norton show here?
I've heard of it. I've watched one episode.
So they do a similar thing called Big Red Chair, where basically people from the audience come and sit in a chair, and they try to tell a story, and if it's not good, he'll pull the chair back and they fall backwards. So I thought that maybe this was them trying to take another avenue on that. But yeah, I just thought if you're going to use Instagram, you should have better contact. And I gave it just no marks. It got 0 marks from me.
You got 0 marks. So
I didn't care enough to give it a letter.
Off the top of your head, what are you giving it?
Like a C.
Yeah, I would love for them to bring in somebody weird, like a Casey Geeson, and just talk about their weird Snapchats and Instagrams, in that kind of situation. So I give it a C-.
Okay. We're pretty on par, though, aren't we?
We are. On to the next one. Bushwick, Brooklyn, 2015. Was
that what it was called?
Well, I wrote Bushwick, Brooklyn, 2015.
I wrote Thug Sketch.
Yes! Really?
That's what I wrote. I missed what the title was, so I was like...
So you just wrote it right away. I'm gonna throw this out there now. I'm gonna say this is gonna go down as one of SNL's better sketches. When people talk about sketches over time, in this last 5 years since we've lost and there's been a lot of shifting, there hasn't been enough consistency. And I saw this written. I can't take credit for this exact part of the thought, that this sketch could only happen at this time with this cast, and that's 100% true.
Okay, yeah.
Keenan, Kevin Hart, and Jay Farrell. This was This was so well done, in my opinion. I think this will be one that people refer to. Like, remember that Bushwick Brooklyn one? The three dudes on the corner. It's complete. It's a reverse stereotype, and it was executed. Now the acting was good. The acting, you're an actress. Did you think the acting was good?
I thought the acting was great, and I also have to give credit to the writers because I thought that the writing was phenomenal.
Yeah,
there were some great lines.
The stars lined up for this one. I thought it was fantastic.
My favorite line was you're acting like someone put gluten in your muffin. That was one of my favorite lines. You wrote that down too?
I have quotes.
We're too similar to be working together.
Yeah, you're fired. I'm just kidding. For those of you that haven't seen this, Keenan, Kevin, and Jay play three men who stand on a Brooklyn corner, and they just wax poetic about walking dogs, about brunching, about spin class, throwing painting parties, about mayonnaise, about nannying, everything that's opposite of what you would expect people that are dressed like them in this part of New York to talk about. My favorite part at the very end, they're kind of talking about this stuff, and there was no conflict in this until...
I wrote that too. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you go. Well, I wrote, it's a good concept having no conflict. Like, that's always such the reverse of what you need in a scene. The first rule in improv is this is the big day when. This is the conflict. So I love that it just coasted through.
The only minimal conflict was when Jay Farrell was like, I sent you guys an Evite, and they lose it over the fact that he sent an Evite.
This is in 2003 or something.
But that was a bigger deal to them than the fact that Kevin Hart shot someone and murdered someone. And they just, it didn't matter, but the fact that he sent an Evite was the biggest conflict. I thought this was brilliant on so many levels. My favorite part was at the very end when the guys go by on the tandem bike and they go, that's just Kareem and his life partner.
That was really good. Actually, you know what? Even now, kind of going over to my head, I agree with you. I think that this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm also a huge animal lover, and there is a part in it where there's a dog that walks backwards, which is...
Wait, is this after he murdered the person?
Yes, and all the dogs turn around. This one dog is just stuck going backwards, which is, for the train spotters out there, you can rewatch it and... That gives me an immense amount of joy, more than it should.
This is a season highlight for me, for sure. I think this will go down as one of the better moments of season 40. This might be the one that's most talked about for Kevin Hart. He's got two other ones that possible for me, but this might be the one because it's digital. It can be shared.
Yeah.
This might get the most traction of the episode. My personal favorite, A+.
Yep, I gave it an A+ too.
On to the next sketch. At the Apollo, James Brown takes place in 1971. Kevin Hart plays James Brown. And I so appreciate anytime there's a sketch that has the entire ensemble of pretty much the entire cast in a live sketch. This doesn't happen real often.
Okay.
But anytime it does, I appreciate the thinking and the thought and just the production that goes into that. It's a lot. Granted, not everybody has like a super big part, but everybody has a part. Everybody gets FaceTime in this with a line. And it goes on. He's singing a song, and then he asks them questions just like James Brown does in the song, except he wants answers for these questions. So, for example, he's like, "Should we get more funky?" And he's like, "Wait, I need to hear from everyone individually." And he goes to
why?
Why?
Make sure everyone's on board.
Make sure everyone's on board. Should we take it to the bridge? And everyone says yeah. And then he asks it. But shout out to Taron Killam when he asks that question. My favorite part. Taron Killam just gives a flat no.
No. I think I enjoyed this because I also personally, just for me in pop songs or any song, when people ask questions or shout orders like DJ spin that track or how we all feeling tonight or something like that in songs, I'm like, but the song's rhetorical. So I thought it was really funny that for me personally, when people are like, no, I really need to know the answer. Like, should I take it to the bridge? I'm like, yeah.
Sure, I guess. That's where you want to go.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're your backup singers. We'll follow you. Like, I could see that sketch going a lot of ways. I thought they did a good job with it.
It could have even gone longer, I guess. Didn't they? But they took it to quite far.
They did. He's
about buying sandwiches or something?
Chicken parms. He's like, okay, so that's 10 chicken parms. And then Cecily was
mustard.
like, "Oh, my mustard. Who has a chicken parm with mustard?"
Yeah. Danny and I will now just reenact all of the scenes for you.
But an underrated funny part of the sketch for me that it didn't really click until I typed it, and I'm now rereading through it. She got married and changed her name from Lorraine to Lauren, but her first name. And he's like, "Wait, why'd you change your first name?"
Yes.
I want to know who thought of that and then implemented it, because that's really funny. It's very funny, and I've never heard of it.
It's a sketch on its own, I guess.
It is a sketch on its own.
There you go. Next week.
There you go. We'll perform it right here. So I give this sketch, I'm going to give it an A-. He was a very good James Brown.
What was the...
He was a very good James Brown. Like he would win if him and Jimmy Fallon. Oh my gosh, I just got it.
What?
This just happened in my brain right now.
Okay.
I was about to say if him and Jimmy Fallon have a lip sync contest, he would win as James Brown. But then guess what I remembered?
What?
He was on Jimmy Fallon earlier this week, and guess what they teased? They're doing a live show after the Super Bowl in Phoenix, where I will be, by the way. Will Ferrell and Jimmy Fallon and Kevin Hart, they're doing a live taping. And it's already been said that they're doing a live lip sync off. And on Jimmy Fallon the other night, Kevin Hart goes to Jimmy. He goes, I already know my songs. I'm going to destroy you. He's going to do James Brown.
Do you reckon he will?
If he does James Brown, let's make a bet. I bet you he does.
Oh my
James
gosh.
Brown.
Okay. If he doesn't, Danny has to eat a durian.
What the heck is a durian?
A durian is a fruit that is banned in many countries and places because of its potent stench.
What's a... I'm sorry?
It's a durian. It's like a delicacy.
Marissa, do you know what a durian is?
No, but I can look that up.
You can look it up.
Great.
It's basically like the worst smelling food ever. It even looks like you shouldn't eat it. Like it's all spiky and crazy. Like it has to be frozen in most places so that you can't actually smell it. But it's banned in like a ton of places. I had to try it for a radio show.
What happened?
We had to go down to the garage to eat it because people didn't want it anywhere near them. Like it comes within a mile of you, and you know something bad's gonna happen.
It smells. Are you exaggerating?
I'm not. I got it on a fork this close to my face and projectile vomited. It's
Get
on YouTube.
Out of here. where can we find this on YouTube?
So
Kim Crossman?
if he doesn't do James Brown, then you have to eat a durian. And if he does,
I feel like this is not a good decision on my part to make this bet.
you need to live your life. How much do you care about this? Not enough. That's a durian. That's it.
That's a durian?
Look how dangerous it looks.
It looks like a sea urchin.
Yeah.
I have to eat one of those if he doesn't do. Oh my gosh.
You better hope. You need to get your tweeting
Okay.
to Kevin Hart.
All
Deal?
right. Done.
Deal.
If he doesn't do James Brown, Kevin, good God, whatever camera, I'm going to look straight ahead. Kevin, please, for the love of all that is holy, do James Brown on Jimmy Fallon. Otherwise, I have to eat one of those things, and I will projectile vomit, and I'll send it to you in a bag.
That's a great idea.
All right.
Cool.
Moving on. Good God. What did I get myself into? The next sketch, Nancy Chase. They reunite the cast. I really feel like I just made a bad decision.
You did.
They reunite the cast of an old show, and they each have beautiful. They introduce all the characters. Each one of them has beautiful walk-on music.
Did you catch the name of the show?
I didn't. Yeah, it was like Harlow Heights or
Okay.
Harlem Heights, I don't know, something like that. Until Vanessa Bayer's character is introduced, and her theme music is fart music. It's like squishy, squashy.
It sounds like that elephant. What's that? Yeah, the Pink Elephant kind of song. Is it Pink Elephant? Another New Zealand cultural sense.
Dumbo?
No, isn't there a Pink Elephant music? Anyone?
Bueller? Dorian?
Don't worry about it.
Nope. Okay.
Cool.
And then Kevin Hart plays Martin, the sound director, who they bring out to explain what's happening. Now, here's the thing. I didn't think this sketch had a lot of places to go. This sketch was made because of Kevin. 100%. Okay. Kevin and that sound. Potty humor is fine to me, like bathroom humor. It's fine. It's fart noises, repetitive. It's funny 3 times. What was funny because Kevin comes out and throws it out of it was left field humor. So he says, "I'm sorry, I don't speak English.
Right.
I speak but I can't understand it." And she's like, "That doesn't make any sense." No, that's true. Kevin learned just enough to do the show, and he's like, "Oh, thank you for clearing that up." That was left field. I didn't see that coming.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Go.
Okay. Yeah, I guess for me, I don't find toilet humor funny. Like, I think I try and stay away from it. And improv too, I think it's like it's an easy laugh.
It's an easy out.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, oh, there would have been a smarter, better choice. I don't know. I think it kind of plays to the lowest common let me try that again. Denominator. However, what I liked about this sketch is it reminded me of the Adam Sandler anger management thing where he's like, I am calm. Like, sir, please, you need to remain calm. You know, when they're on the airplane, you need to stop, sir. And he's like, I I am, because I felt like she was in that situation.
That's a great scene. You're right.
Where everyone's like, no, I can't. It doesn't sound any different to me. So I liked that kind of concept about it. But
overall, this sketch kind of fell a little short for me. Although that was funny, fell a little short. I'm gonna go with a C.
Yeah, I think I originally gave it a B, but yeah, now that I'm just comparing everything, I'm gonna give it a C. As I'm just gonna copy everything that you do. So you asked me back.
Perfect.
There's no conflict in this show.
No conflict. Moving on. I'll send you an Evite for the next show. Moving on to the next digital short. A running digital short. We didn't know it until we saw this. And by running digital short, if you don't know what that means that we get a little more of Kate McKinnon and Justin Bieber, which is always enjoyable. And this was a little shorter, but I liked the one-liner better. It was my favorite one-liner. Goes,
I already know what it's going to be.
Do you? Say it.
It's going to be, it's closed for my big wiener.
No, that's my second favorite.
Oh.
Okay. I guess I should say there's two. That is part of the reason this one was more appropriate for me.
What was
Y'all, this underwear is making me tired. I love that.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah. She goes, y'all, this underwear is making me tired, and kind of looks around like to get him out of the situation.
Oh, that's so good. I liked the moment I liked was like where he's basketballing and then he holds her hand.
It's very awkward.
It's so good.
Oh, my Calvin's closed for my big wiener.
So good.
It was great. Finally, we get to Sia. It feels like it's been a long show already.
Yes.
We get to Sia song number 1. We watched it together right before this, and I liked that you asked right away when it started, are these cast members dancing?
Well, here's the thing. So
Go for it.
First of all, Sia could have been anyone.
Yep.
It could be anyone.
True.
Could have been me.
True.
And the dancers, the first thing I said was, is this real? Because I didn't know if it was cast members and they were dancing as a joke.
Yeah.
Or if it was really choreographed. And the reason being, I think some of the moves led to being quite humorous. And it's SNL, so I was like, oh,
maybe it could be.
They're taking the piss.
The little girl, the mini Sia, Maddie Ziegler.
The 12 years old.
12 years old. She's been in a few. She's been in Chandelier and the other song title's escaping me. The other one she did tonight.
Heart.
What? Elastic Heart, thank you.
I whispered that as if like
Elastic
only
Heart.
you would hear it.
Get it. That girl's so freaking talented. She is like a mini Sia. Well, we think.
You think.
But we don't know because Sia's been covering her face in public for a couple years. Yeah. At first, it sounds like a diva move. It's not necessarily, and when you hear her talk about it in interviews, you can only hear. You can't really see her talk about it. She's literally done interviews like this, like with her back to it. I almost just pulled my microphone out. But
if you'd like to see Danny do the rest of the show with his back to the audience,
raise your hand. It's rhetorical because it's radio. No, but her reason for doing it is because she wants the focus to be on the performances of whatever, like dancers, or she used a mime, or her vocals, or her band. So it's not about her. It's actually to uplift the other people. And she even said, I wrote songs for a lot of years for big artists. She's got number one Katy, Rihanna, Lady Gaga. She's helped, and millions of other names. And she's seen the lifestyle and just chose, that's not what I want for me. I still want to be a performer and perform these songs, but that's not what I want for me. She wrote Titanium. She wrote it in 30 minutes or 40 minutes and recorded the vocals in 30 minutes. I mean, under 90 minutes, the whole song. And that Titanium was
huge.
Ginormous.
Yeah.
That's cool. She's extremely talented.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want to take away from her performance. I think it was just my initial reaction, wasn't sure. I just wrote down, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah.
That was my words. I think if it had just been the younger girl, I think also I wanted to see a guy. I liked in the birdcage for that song and in the...
Shia.
Yeah.
I was secretly hoping Shia was going to come out and perform.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people did. It would have added a cool weight. It would have been very, very... It would have got a lot of social traction. But alas...
Sound-wise, though, I think she sounded great.
Yeah. Was it this song or the second one?
The second one.
Yeah, okay, we'll get there. Okay. On to Weekend Update.
Oh, wait, and they also had pink hands. Does anyone know why?
No.
Cool.
Don't. If you guys know why...
We'll just brush over that.
Tweet us. Weekend Update. Albeit a short Weekend Update, they seemed like they had a little vibe back. They being Colin Jost and Michael Che. They've been doing better. getting better for me. I think Michael was a little rusty at the beginning, but he's getting better for me because it's his first season. And they've been doing this thing where he does like a little monologue, just a little one, and I'm liking them. It's adding a cool flavor to Weekend Update. I'm a big Weekend Update fan, so it was hard for me to welcome in Colin and then Cecily and then lose Cecily, now get Michael. That's usually my favorite part of the show.
Okay.
So it was hard. I thought this was good. Albeit short, I thought it was good. It was full. The Al Sharpton Diversity Task Force sounds like a kick-ass Saturday morning cartoon from Michael Che. I thought that joke, he crushed that joke.
Yeah, that was good.
That was so funny to me because you 100% can see it. Like it could be a comic book.
I like the animation that they pulled up with it, too.
The animation was great. I want to know who drew that. That was so good. And then, good God, what can't Kate McKinnon do? Miss Santini.
Difficult neighbors?
Yeah, the tips for annoying neighbors.
So funny.
I like the passive-aggressive notes like, they have Jumanji going on every evening.
Yeah, the elephant... The animal
elephants.
skeleton.
And then the Dear Mario Batali of garbage.
Yes.
Like when you smell your earring hole is infected.
You know what was great about that?
What?
Because I've had that happen before, and I didn't know that was a thing. So now I feel like comfort knowing, oh, it's not just me who's had that happen.
How do your ear holes get infected?
Well, I got a new piercing recently, and so I guess it got infected and it smelled really bad, but of course I'm not going to just tell everyone that. Now I know that I can, and I wasn't alone.
And I wasn't alone.
I wasn't alone. So I learned something. I was like, oh, other people have it too.
You're going to learn today. Then my next favorite joke, and only favorite because I wanted to see what SNL was going to do with this. They could have gone way overboard with Bill Cosby. I don't think they would because Bill Cosby's a comedy fan. He's an SNL, you know. There's history.
Have they touched on it before, or is this the first time?
I don't actually think they have. I don't believe they did because it was still fresh.
Okay.
I feel like somebody said something. I'm not recalling off the top of my head.
How soon is too soon?
Well,
too soon to do a Joan Rivers sketch? Like they did?
That was a tribute. That was like a tribute, though. They even
was it?
That was because she would have loved that sketch. She would have loved. That's a roast. She would have sat there and been like, "Bravo." She would have loved that. Okay. In my opinion.
Okay.
Will Wasby, the Foria CEO, a spray that helps women have sex, and they just flash Bill Cosby with masks and call him Will Wasby. Let's move on to the next sketch. I'm going to give a Weekend Update, though. I'm going to give it a B+. I thought it was pretty solid.
I gave it a C. I think some of it was maybe a little bit over my head, just not being from this country.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Okay. On to Dragon Attack. I didn't know what to do with this. I didn't know if it was like a Game of Thrones thing at first.
What did you call it?
Dragon Attack.
Okay.
Isn't that what the whole thing's about? A impending dragon attack?
Yeah, but okay, cool. Sure.
I thought that there was going to be. There
was no dragon attack.
Well, that was the dragon's eyeball outside the window at the end.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Okay, awesome. So you agree. Got it.
Once again, agree to disagree.
I thought maybe it was going to be where they're going to go with it was a Game of Thrones parody idea, and then talk about like black people in that day and age, maybe because Kenan was like the ruler and Kevin Hart was there. I thought maybe they were going to go that angle. I didn't at all see what they did. I didn't see that coming. It wasn't really funny to me, but what I really respect is the technical side of it, that they all sang and kind of like low-key killed it. Taron Killam could have been on Broadway with that voice. That was awesome.
I liked his bit where it was kind of unaudible. Like, didn't he do a bit that was just kind of...
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm not going to sing opera for you. But didn't he do like a bit where he just like kind of for like a really long time?
Oh yeah, he at the very end he sang it really.
Yeah.
He held it super long.
Yeah, but I didn't quite pick up if he was actually saying words or just kind of mocking the fact that in those situations.
Yeah.
I guess what I thought was funny about it was that people do break into song, and I liked that Kevin Hart was kind of that voice of reason. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. We don't have time for this.
He was like an audience member, like our audience, us.
Yeah,
our thoughts.
Our dialogue.
Yeah, our dialogue. Like, why are they singing? There's a dragon coming.
But I agree. I didn't really know the point of it or what they were getting at, other than maybe social commentary on musicals.
Yeah.
Or I still don't know. But it was enjoyable. Their costumes were great and they sounded great.
And let's focus on the positive. Great costumes. They sounded great. Move on to the next sketch. I'm going to give it a B- only because I thought the singing was fantastic.
Yeah, I gave it a B. I thought the singing was great.
Shout out to Kenan. We don't get to hear him sing like that very often. And this could be his last season, so maybe the last time we hear him belt away
and
with it.
your friend, is it Leslie? No, who is the lady that came in? Wasn't it her first appearance in the show? She used to be a writer. Didn't she come in?
Not my friend. I don't know her. She's great.
I mean your friend as in the lady that you know her name and I don't.
Oh, Leslie Jones.
You know.
No, she was on last season. This wasn't her first appearance, but
in this episode, wasn't it? She wasn't in the ones previous.
This might be her first appearance in this. Yeah, Leslie Jones comes in. I think this was the first episode or first sketch she appears, but then she's in the next one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right.
She's funny.
She is funny. She's got great physical humor, which we'll talk about in the next. So I'm gonna go with, what did I say? A B- for that one.
I said B. Yeah.
Yeah. Hines Hall. This one takes place. Kevin plays himself, having just come off stage, going back to his dressing room where Leslie Jones is in the room. He doesn't know who she is. She reminds him they were together 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. He has a son named Marcus, who's played by Jay Farrell. And then Marcus comes in. Now, we all know Jay Farrell does a lot of impressions. That's how he got on SNL, essentially, by doing impressions. He does the best Jay-Z I've ever heard. Did put it on YouTube. Gets on SNL. It can get old, him doing these impressions, but I've never seen his Kevin Hart impression. I thought this could have been Kevin's idea or like a mix of Kevin and Jay's idea. What did you think of this sketch?
I thought it was brilliant. It made me just want to like clap and click with them.
Yes.
Clap, click, click.
Clap, clap, click, click.
Like, I loved it. So yeah, it was so cool. And it's hard too. Like if you're impersonating someone who's literally right next to you, that's hard. And they had the physicalities down, and I think it lended itself to the two of a kind humor.
That's hard. They had it down. It lended itself to.
Oh, am I sounding really Kiwi?
No, I was just trying to impersonate you right next to me.
Oh, okay, I got you.
it.
But I think in improv and in class, like if you can't match someone, then you play two of a kind. But I don't actually know if I've ever seen it play out playing two of a kind like that so well, and I loved it. I
did
thought
too.
It was so good, especially when they went into your like, oh my god, like.
Oh, we teased this earlier.
Because they started with the physicalities, and I was like, oh, what will they do to step it up? What are they going to do to take it further?
Yeah, Jay nailed it too. Like I gotta get
so good.
Bam. Like he nailed those.
We would have done great if we were there.
As you can tell. But the best were like, oh my God, I might have a son. He was like, I might have a dad. We might be a family.
And I loved her social commentary of like, this is great. Annoying, but great. It was good.
When she grabs Kevin too, she picks him up. And I liked that moment because you could see the size differential. Like he's such a big personality, a lot of times that makes up for any height, and he's okay. He makes fun of himself and his height so much that people forget, like, you can't knock him because he makes fun of himself. He even did in the other skit.
Yeah, whose pants are these?
Oh, my pants. He's always keen to do short jokes on himself, but not a lot of times do other people do it. Because you can't make fun of somebody if they've already owned, and he owns his height, which it's not a big deal. It's just what it is. But then when she picks him up and kind of just like wiggles him around and moves him around, you can really see it. And I thought it was cool to see somebody else kind of bring that, like let someone else, I guess, bring that issue as a comedic thing, comedic physicality thing.
I really enjoyed that. I thought it was great.
I gave this an A.
And I give it an A too.
Okay, Sia, number 2, chandelier acoustic with the mime who wasn't miming, who was doing sign language. A little curious. The part for me that was a little weird was when she couldn't hit the note about birds up in the air.
Yeah.
Was it the line about birds up in the air? It's like she couldn't hit it and almost forgot did she forget the words?
I don't know. I think
did you catch that?
I did catch. I definitely felt like, it was a mistake of sorts. But then it's also hard to read because if you can't see her face, then you're not sure.
I don't know. I love the arrangement though. It was beautiful.
I liked the instruments. I really liked the mime and doing the signing aspect of it. And it gave you something to look at and something to watch. And it felt like he was so passionate about it too. I wish he didn't speak in the closing thing, though. Like the mime signing guy, when they do the sign off at the very end, he starts like talking to everyone. I was like, no,
you blew it.
But I thought it was great. Once again, I think she sounded great, and I wrote just the one stuff up. But out of some of the other live performances, I think vocally she was really, really strong, and that seems like a really hard setting to do a great vocal performance.
Yeah.
Live TV, so.
Agreed. Listening party. The last sketch of the night. Kevin plays the rapper Chocolate Dropper, who he just changed his name to, who wants his crew to listen to his new record, which he then decides to perform in front of them, which is him outing some of their deepest secrets.
So good.
Rehearsals, the week of writing, rehearsing, that day, last sketch, the last thing he has to do, the most energy you see from Kevin is in this sketch.
That's true.
He's hopping around. You can see him start glistening from sweating. Hop, bang, bang. Click,
Gunshots, what?
Gunshots, what? I kind of want that to become a song. I want them to do a digital short and release it.
Oh, I hope they do. I already was into it. Like, it only took me a second. I was like, gunshots, what? Like,
pop,
oh my gosh.
Pop, bang, bang.
I loved it. I loved this so much because, and I think that's a social commentary on rap music too. Some of it is so literally, take Eminem talking about Kim or something. Like, it's so a format, where they do pay people out and stuff. So for him to do it in an area of his close friends and just pay out their secrets.
Carl got the herpes, the lip kind.
That was my favorite bit.
But we know it's still there, and then Beck pulls his hand away.
The reveal.
It's the lipstick everywhere. Which, side note, we didn't see Beck Bennett at all this episode.
No.
Besides
but
James
what a
Brown
great
Hicks.
way to reveal him, to call him out for having lip herpes that he covers in lipstick, just with a slow kind of reveal.
And whoever wrote this, a huge shout out, because anytime you can pull in a Weekend at Bernie's reference, the last place I expect them to give one is here. And he's like, Karen, they killed Steve. He's like, oh, it's a Weekend at Bernie's situation. And they lift up Keenan's arms.
He was dressed in a full purple, like, what do you call those tracksuits?
Velvet, or I was gonna say velvet.
Start with V. Velour, is it?
Velour.
Velour. Not a wet look tracksuit. Throwback.
Nope. No.
I thought yes, their outfits were also phenomenal for this.
I give this an A+. I loved this. It was a great way to end the night.
It's a perfect way to end the night. A+ as well.
A+ as well. And I did like at the end when he gets on stage, he thanks Sia, and then he thanks his kids by name and his fiance by name, and then raps it, and then thanks the staff. But I love that he talked about how he's getting engaged, because he's talked about in his stand-ups that he's divorced and things have gone rough, but he's loving on his. He talked about him on Fallon earlier this week too. It was very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So overall, I give the whole thing. I'm going to give it an A-. I really liked it. It was last time he hosted was 2 years ago, and it didn't get as much traction. Okay. This was really good.
Yeah, and I give it an A. I think all around there were only a few places where it fell short, and that wasn't to do with the concepts. I think it was more just like maybe some dialogue adjustments or more specifics. So yeah, I would definitely give it an A. I thought Kevin was amazing, and I enjoyed it.
How freaking excited are you for Blake Shelton to perform and be the guest next week?
I'm really excited.
You love Blake Shelton, don't you?
I do. And I actually didn't know that he was hosting. I had just assumed he was just being a musical guest.
Host and musical guest. Dominating. He's going to pull a Justin Timberlake.
Wow.
I think he's going to be freaking hilarious.
You do?
I hope he brings in like Adam Levine or Pharrell or CeeLo, like the other judges from The Voice. Or his wife, like Miranda Lambert. Like he's got a lot of pull.
Yeah, okay.
I really hope he pulls somebody in. I think he might pull Adam Levine and they do a sketch, like a voice sketch.
I hope so.
Oh God, I would love it. I would love it so much.
You've got a lot. You want to put another durian on the line?
Heck no.
I just want to see Danny eat a durian.
Good God.
You'll vomit.
You just want to see me projectile vomit. Let's talk about you, Kim Crossman.
Okay.
Because you are everywhere. I feel like left and right, you're shooting things. You were just in New Zealand for several months.
Yeah.
Shooting a movie.
Yes, I was shooting. It was my first villain. I've never played a villain before, so I'm very excited.
What did you get to do as a villain?
I got to ride a Segway and shoot people. Yeah.
Hold on. You're a villain, and were you chasing someone?
Yeah, that was just my mode of transport. I was.
It sounds like a Paul Blart mall cop scene.
In the film,
okay.
That was my chosen mode of transport. I had assumed a superiority over others as my character. So,
okay, and then you were in a gunfight on a Segway.
Yeah, I wanted everybody dead, so that was
riveting.
You should watch it.
I love it.
Yeah, so kind of split my time between Los Angeles and New Zealand working on film and television, which is great. And love comedy, and that's kind of the ultimate goal would to be on, like a multicam or single cam. I think single cam probably because it lends itself to more improv, and I think that's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Give me an example of like a female actress. I guess it could be female or male, but a female actress who is similar to your style that's in a role that's something that you would 100% adore.
Oh, probably like Mindy Kaling. Yeah, I would say.
She was so good.
Something like that. For the Mindy Project or New Girl or something.
The Office or Mindy Project?
Yeah. Mindy Project.
I went straight to The Office.
Oh, you did? Yeah. No, I think like I would want to be the lead that the show centers around and like really have my hand in the whole process.
Yeah.
And I'm doing some writing at the moment, which is really exciting. So
awesome. I know that you and your roommate or your friend Katie?
Yes.
My
best friend, my life partner.
Your best friend, your life partner. Katie, I saw you guys put up a video today.
Yes.
That you're in. Actually. Tell me about this, because this is the first time you guys have done this, right?
Yeah. So Katie's a phenomenal writer, too, and really into improv, and a huge inspiration to me out here in LA. And so she had this idea. Because of Girls, the new season is out, and I think
Lena Dunham show.
Yeah, we find really funny about Girls is just that they're inappropriately naked in settings that don't necessarily call for it. So we wanted to play on that. So we kind of she kind of invented this thing with our acting coach Sarah Mornell about doing a Dunham. So basically, just being naked in settings that don't call for it. So we released the first of what will be like a viral video hopefully kind of series. So
wait, today you did?
It's called Doing a Dunham. So.
Doing a Dunham.
You guys could take it on and just maybe next week Danny can do a Dunham and just be naked.
Like, welcome to the SNL After Show.
But you can't address it. You just have to say that you're doing a Dunham.
Oh, but you
just
can
move
say
on.
Like she could be like, "What's Danny doing?" Like, oh, he's doing
a Dunham, and then you just move right past it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, you can't linger on it for too long.
Okay. And if people want to connect with Kimberly Crossman, I know you have a book.
I do, yeah. I have a book. I guess ultimately I want to instill confidence in young women. That's kind of my big push.
Yeah.
And of course, entertain people. But yes, I have a website, KimberlyCrossman.com, or all my social media is just at Kim Crossman.
Kim Crossman, you've been very entertaining for us, and hopefully
that's because I agreed with all of your
for our audience. Yeah,
he told me before, and if you don't agree with me, you won't be coming back. So that's not true at all.
Yep, that's exactly what I said.
That's exactly literally what he said.
Thank you so much for joining us. You're a lot of fun to have. I miss Keaton and Roya and Kelly, but you have done a fantastic job of combining the three of their personalities and being a fill-in. So thank you so much.
And I've dropped some Kiwi-isms. You're going to eat a durian. People will now refer to leather as a wet look.
I'm also going to take the piss, literally and figuratively, as soon as we get off the air.
All right.
Big thanks to Kim Crossman. Like I said, you can follow her on Twitter and Instagram at Kim Crossman. And check out your website, KimberlyCrossman.com. For me, I guess we can wrap up the show. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Danny Hoyt, DANNYHOYT. This has been your SNL After Show. Next week, Blake Shelton. We'll see you then. Bye.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.